how you've been taught to meditate with breathing is likely keeping you stuck and even causing you health issues. Yes, it's true. I have a very long experience with meditation since 2018, and I have never missed a day. I strongly believe in meditation and could go on and on and on about its benefits, but also could go on and on and on about how it is handled out there in the masses. And the one thing that I want to talk about today as I address this topic and I start to talk more and more about having conscious awareness and following your intuition in regards to things that are taught out there on mass levels that are really just keeping you stuck in the matrix. But this one thing I want to talk about today is breath work in regards to meditation. So if you are someone that meditates and listens to meditation teachers, goes to group meditations, anything along those lines, you likely hear them say, breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. I literally have never ever heard anyone do anything but say that. Follow the leader, right? We're going to get here soon, so stick with me. Again, I started my meditation journey in 2018. Last year, 2024, I realized something. I had complete awakening and conscious awareness that I had become a mouth breather. And that was gross. Bad breath, feeling yucky. Luckily, that didn't go into like sleep apnea or any of these other conditions that do happen from mouth breathing, whether you're consciously aware of that or not. That is a factor. But I realized what had happened. And because I asked the universe for help with what I should watch on YouTube, which is something I've talked about in many of my videos, I then got all this information flooding to me just through my consciousness. I hadn't even opened my mouth about this topic. And all these YouTube videos came into my feed about mouth breathing and using mouth tape. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is a sign. So I went and bought some basic surgical Band-Aid white tape that you can get anywhere, literally anywhere, from Walmart to Target to your grocery store to your dime store. You can buy this tape anywhere. You do not need to buy anything fancy from an influencer. You can just get just basic mouth tape and you just rip it. You don't even need scissors. And I started using it, just a piece or two. And I put it over my mouth before I went to sleep or before I meditated. So if you do this, I am going to have a disclaimer that this is at your own risk. I never, ever once swallowed the tape or came close to swallowing the tape, but I am not this is a disclaimer. This is at your own risk if you choose to do this. And I've never heard of anyone swallowing any tape on any YouTube video. So again, at your own risk, but it worked. And it worked really fast. Amazingly fast. Amazingly fast, like in 2 to 3 days. It stopped the habit. But what's important to know is as I did this mouth tape, I was also very conscious to keep my mouth closed. So there were the first 2 nights of sleeping that I didn't sleep the best because I was consciously waking myself up and rewiring myself to close my mouth. So it was a little bit of work there, but the benefits of doing that and also the pride I have that I did that and I followed my intuition and had this huge awakening was totally worth 2 nights of not the best sleep. And it's a practice that you have to be conscious of to not get back into that. So when you listen to someone's meditation again, if they're saying breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, your brain needs to say, nope, not doing it. Keeping my mouth closed. But the journey doesn't end there. What started happening was on my walks, I started noticing how everything smelled so much more than ever before. It was crazy. For the past 6 months or so, every walk, I can't smell fast enough to get all the beautiful smells in of all the trees and the flowers. Everywhere I go, I have so many beautiful smells, and all different smells. And it started like in a small place on my walk, and I'd be grateful as I walked through it and be like, oh, wow, this is really amazing. And now it's pretty much my whole walk. It's like my whole walk has just opened up in terms of all these amazing smells. And it made me remember this OBGYN I had years ago. He retired maybe 3 or 4 years ago, but Dr. Kellogg, giving him credit. And when I would wait in the doctor's office, as always, I have a book with me. I have a book with me everywhere I go. I always have a book. I've always had a book with me. And he saw me reading a book while I was waiting for him. He's like, Melinda, are you reading a book? And I'm like, yes, I'm reading a book. And I thought he was going to be interested in the book I was reading. It was like a sales book or something at the time. But he said to me, he's like, that's wonderful, because there is brain science attached to people who read books, actual books, because you can smell the paper. And there's actual data and science about smelling books, the smelling of books, how you can just smell them and how it helps your brain. And that stuck with me. I didn't do any research on it further, but it just stuck with me. I thought that's really cool because I always read books. So as I started having these like awakenings while I'm walking and smelling more and more, and all these things are just like pop, pop, pop. I'm like, oh my gosh, there has to be a lot of science about smelling. And we just don't really hear about it in the mainstream. Interesting, huh? So because I'm really in tune with my consciousness, I start to connect the breadcrumbs. And I truly believe that in light of religion not being as prominent for people as it was in the past, that the control of the matrix has also really shifted into personal development and spirituality. It's become all of the things. All of the things can be taught basically incorrectly or half-assed, really. Things have been left out of the Bible. They have. Religion's a business. Church is a business. Between you and God, that's what it is. If you choose to go, that's great. Just have awareness around that. But now it's happened with spirituality and with personal development. Probably always has been out there, but we're just more conscious to it if we choose to be, right? And there's just more of it. There's more of it. So it led me down this rabbit hole of like, oh my gosh, what does smelling have to do with the brain and brain science? And sure enough, memory and emotions. And what does emotions have to do with? Co-creation and manifestation. So if we teach people, and it's follow the leader, the sheep follow the liars, and meditation instructors just follow each other. Oh, I learned this from this breathwork person. Oh, I learned this from this. Oh, this is what I heard, this is how we teach. Da, 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 da. Everyone follows each other. Breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. It becomes something everyone does at a mass level. And it takes away our sense of smell because we're not using our noses anymore. Instead, we're mouth breathing. On this journey, I also downloaded a really great book that talks about breathing through your nose from a more of science level in terms of your health. And it's called Breathe. And the author, I wanted to write it down because I'm not very good at all this with names. James Nestor, to give him credit. So I'm almost done listening to the Audible. So that's where I got it on, was Audible. It's very good. And it's a lot of data and research, but it's very interesting to listen to. It's not boring. That is about breathing in lungs and breathing through your nose and how that contributes to your overall health. So then what that led me down to from a consciousness is I went to my doctor for just my annual about 2 weeks ago now. What did she tell me that I can get because I'm over 50 and 54? I am now able to get the shingles vaccine and the pneumonia vaccine. We have a problem here. We have a problem when our doctors are promoting vaccines for things that are not necessary. Shingles is stress related. If you have shingles, you've activated something in your body that is from stress. Why would you get a vaccine? Why wouldn't you just work on the thing that's stressing you out? Your job, your relationships, your weight. Why wouldn't you just work on that? Why would you get a vaccine? It makes no sense. And pneumonia, same thing. Why wouldn't you tell me and have a discussion or give me a pamphlet about breathing so I can increase my lung capacity, so I can strengthen my lungs, like this book talks about? Get it? It's very good. Why would you have me get a vaccine for pneumonia? I don't need a vaccine for pneumonia. I just need to make sure my lungs are strong. That's crazy. We are living in a world that is getting more and more dense every day. Every day. Every day. They're taking away our powers. They're taking away your own consciousness, your own intuition, your power. It has infiltrated into all of these sectors. My doctor. I've known my doctor for 15 years. It was crazy when she called me with my blood work. She was blown away. She didn't know what to say to me. She called me personally. And was like, your blood work is perfect. Perfect. It's really amazing. Yes, I know that. I knew that. I just came to you for my yearly because I always get a mammogram. I just believe that I should get a mammogram. It's just, why not? I have cysts that are benign, but it's good to keep an eye on them. I knew I had perfect blood work. She still took my blood. Fine. Peed in a cup. Tried to tell me something was wrong with my pee. I'm like, test it. It's fine. It's fine. All fine. All fine. All fine. So it's infiltrated everything. Spiritual practices that are just gateways. If you are still going to group meditation, you need to look at that. That's what I do. I help people after they've done the gateways, after they've done their lifestyle activities, and nothing has changed. Because let me tell you, it's not going to. Because you haven't embodied things, you haven't implemented things, you haven't created plans from them, you haven't done things the right way so you can create change. You've just done this little teeny thing. It's kind of an activity with my friends, went here, and that's fine. I've done them all. I raised my hand. I have done them all. But I stopped when I realized what they were. And I developed my own beyond basic blueprint programming that will help you get to the next level. And that is for one-on-one coaching only. Maybe someday I'll expand, but not right now. So if you're interested, this conversation has piqued your interest, and you've had some aha moments of like, oh my God, what is going on here? You're struggling with your weight, you're struggling with your sleep, you're struggling with hair loss, you're struggling with your skin, you hate your job, you're having problems with relationships. These are all things I can help you with in terms of consciousness and following your intuition to create plans that are good for you, following my Beyond Basic programs. So check out my website, melindavanfleet.com. And I hope in the meantime, this just gave you like this huge wake-up call on many different topics. And check out that book, Breathe by James Nestor. It's really good. Bye for now.